Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports on I40 podcast. We have a special episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the 3A North or the 3A East or the 3A state semifinals and finals, as well as the Copper finals. But first, my name is Will, and this is my co host.
Mac.
So tonight, I know it's pretty late for everybody. So for those who are watching, thank you for staying up. So we had a very interesting week. We had several games going on this past weekend. I guess the first thing I want to talk about, because we had Greg Perkins on earlier last week, I believe it was, and he was somewhat cautious about not necessarily making a prediction, but cautious about how he thinks his team was going to perform against Sholo. And I remember telling Mac when this matchup first became official that I didn't feel good about it. Sholo, though they were sort of on a downward skid in the 3A East, and I guess just in general, they were still a team that had a lot of potential, and they were able to beat anybody. And I think sort of Greg's cautiousness, I think, sort of stemmed by the fact that Sholo is a very aggressive team, and I've been saying this for a while too about these games in the playoffs, is that there have been fewer fouls called in these playoff games, which makes it favor teams that are more aggressive and I guess you could say more rough, I guess in the sense. But given that there's been limited foul calls, I kind of foresaw that being an issue for them. It was the same thing for the boys game, but uh, Greg was hopeful. I was hopeful. I was going for the Holbrook Roadrunners, the girls, but they just lost steam in the third quarter. Mac, you saw it on TV, right, or
Yeah,
on the
we
stream,
just
right?
watched live, or watched it online.
What were your thoughts on the game?
I didn't. We didn't watch. We only watched the tail end, I think, of the game, and my daughter had a game that same night, I think. So we watched the tail end, but man, it was a tough one, man. Like the girls had a chance, they could have won it, but man, it's like any game against Cholo was always a tough one, and this one was definitely one of them.
Yeah, so they came out really strong in the first half, and it certainly looked like everything was going their way.
Yeah,
I don't think fouls weren't necessarily an issue in the first half. I mean, um, there were some things that weren't being called, like double dribbles and some travels that maybe could have been called.
mm-hmm.
But I think what really, I saw Greg the other day at Safeway. Maybe it was on Saturday
Yeah,
morning, and his kind of thought about it briefly when we spoke was that they went cold in the third period.
mm-hmm.
They hardly made any shots, if any. Right, they were really struggling from the
Really.
3-point line.
In the second half, I think they only had 8 points.
Uh huh.
Right? What we calculated or whatever.
And think about this too. Both teams did not do very well in the second half because the game ended up being fairly close throughout the second half. Shola really didn't pull away until maybe the last maybe minute or so when Holbrook had no choice but to foul.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both teams played horribly. Not, excuse me, both teams didn't play very well. I don't want to sound too crass about it, but yeah, they made a lot of threes. Like Bailey made a lot of threes, and I think she made like 6 or 5 threes in the first half.
Yeah,
She made quite a bit, and then in the second half, she could not make it at all,
yeah.
and nobody really could. I mean, they were having a tough time.
There were a lot of attempts towards the end.
There were a lot of attempts, especially when they let. I wish I knew her name, but the one gal from Sholo, she made that 3-pointer to go up. Was it by 3
Yeah,
with about maybe 2 minutes left or something like that? So Holbrook certainly had plenty of time to do something to score, but
mm-hmm.
man, they just couldn't make anything. And there were some other things too, like a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers, and that's sort of kind of been my issue with the team is when I watch Holbrook girls play, I am always watching with high anxiety because it just looks like they're about to turn the ball over. And when your team looks that way, it's going to be tough for them to win these games. And they put themselves into some bad situations by first dribbling unnecessarily. Like you want to give the ball to your best ball handler, which
Yeah.
is Channing Harrington. And I understand that maybe there are opportunities to take the ball yourself across the court, but if you can, you want to give it to somebody who specializes in that.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is passes. They had a lot of really bad passes. Some of them that I'm sure the players who committed them would wish they would have that back, right? But it is what it is, and uh, ultimately those mistakes piled up into a loss for Holbrook.
Yeah. I feel like girls when girls play, just I just I'm just learning as I go. I mean, just just watching the game and seeing how it goes. It seems like girls the biggest thing is passes. Like that's their main turnover, and it's always been that way. I feel like that's their kind of like their weakness or some weakness is passing, man.
Yeah. So, but again, I mean, in my opinion, I really didn't see that big of an issue with any of the officiating. I mean, like I was saying before, even when we spoke with Greg, you should not expect to get the calls that you normally get during the regular season. And I would say they called more fouls than I thought they would have for this game.
Mhm.
But for the most part, they let them play the game, and they really didn't want the game to end on a controversial call. And good on them. I mean, everyone's gonna have their opinion. I think a lot of people think that maybe the refs sort of sided, or not necessarily sided, but sort of tipped the game in favor of Sholo. But I mean, the game was really close too,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to admit that a lot of the mistakes that allowed Sholo to win was because of the girls' mistake. And I think didn't Greg? It seemed like he tried to slow the game down a little bit in the second half too, especially in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think so.
I
Looked
mean,
that way.
they had a lot of momentum going into halftime.
They were up by like what 9 points or so at
Yeah,
halftime.
something like 9 or 10, something like that. And they had a good cushion there. And man, it's one of those heartbreaking losses where coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, the second game, Holbrook versus Snowflake. This was another game that I really didn't feel too great about either, for the same reason, and that is uh, limited foul calling is going to benefit a team like Snowflake because Snowflake, they're a physically strong team. Um, I can kind of see it. They sort of play play a little rough out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not afraid to not necessarily commit fouls, but go in there and
Get
really
physical.
get physical
Yeah.
and try to make plays. And I figured that you know low foul calling was going to benefit them, and that certainly was the case for them. I mean, but despite all that, Holbrook still had a chance to beat them anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it they I think it was expected. I expected them to be pretty to at least have the lead or at least it to be close in the first half. But it was that third quarter that really caught up with them, and that's been a problem with them all year is the third quarter. And they sort of went cold in the third quarter, and Snowflake sort of was able to build off that going into the fourth.
Yeah, like the girls' game, like you said too. I felt like the game got slowed down, the pace, and it kind of worked against them. It seemed like.
Yeah, I don't understand it. If you watch the stream, like I think Sports I Talk was there.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Delmar slowed the game down, and they started running a different offense. Not they started running a different pattern, I guess,
Yeah, they
which
had
sort of slowed the game down.
they. I think they went into the shot clock the violation like 4 times or something like that. I think in
Yeah,
that game in the
and
second half.
yeah, and they were just having a hard time, getting shots on the inside as
Yeah.
well. There were a couple times where that pattern worked, but um, they just kept getting calls like the like traveling calls too. So that was also a heartbreaker for them. Even Travis Baya fouled out in the last minute or two of the game.
Yeah, like almost something like that. 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
So him fouling out, um, though it didn't necessarily. Uh, I mean, it definitely did hurt them towards the end, and I know that Snowflake was able to go up by two with about I don't know 10 seconds, or it came out to the last few seconds of the game, and Holbrook was able to score a 2-pointer to win or to tie the game to go into overtime.
Yeah, Day in the regulation.
And when they tied the game, everyone was excited, that they're going to extend the game, and Holbrook still had a chance. But my first thought was Travis isn't playing, so I don't know if they're going to be able to beat this team in
Yeah.
the next four. Was it 3 or 4 minutes? Whatever the time is for overtime. And that certainly ended up being the case. Snowflake sort of took command of the game in overtime and beat Holbrook pretty decisively. I mean, Holbrook had some chances to do so, take some, keep the game close, but I don't know if it was just, they were tired, or maybe they wanted the season to end. I'm not really too sure. I mean, sometimes, when you play every day for so many months, sometimes you just kind of get relief for the end being near as well. So, but who knows? I mean, I wasn't out there playing, but it was just quite odd, and Holbrook ended up drawing the short stick on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it? I know. I know the boys didn't want to lose. Their whole intention was to win and all that, but yeah, it just didn't go their way, and that's Latin in the overtime. They tried scoring. They tried doing what they could, but it seemed like every shot was. I think. I think only made like maybe 2 baskets, maybe, huh?
Uh huh.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Compared to like 10 points that Snowflake put up.
Yeah, and I think at the beginning of the year too, we both kind of figured it was going to be a tough road for the Holbrook boys. I mean, the 3A boys division is a pretty tough division,
Mm.
and I've been thinking about that too, because we watched the Copper semifinals in Winslow, and I was just thinking how it's so lopsided, where in the 3A for girls, the North is so dominant in basketball compared to the teams in the metro area,
Mm.
but in the boys division, it's sort of the other way around. It's
Yeah.
you know,
All the South teams.
yeah, Valley Christian, Sanchez Charter, these bigger schools with access to a lot more players, especially the ones that can recruit, that they can
Yeah.
recruit to come to their school. I mean, they it just seems, I guess the way I would think about it is this, that um, boys, I think, have a natural inclination for athleticism. I mean, their bodies grow, they get stronger and faster, and I mean, I would assume cognitively, when it comes to developing the hand ability, and the shooting ability, and the agility, boys, I think, are able to excel quite rapidly at the high school level when they get there, without maybe not having necessarily a whole lot of experience coming
Mm.
into high school.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas girls basketball, it seems like a lot of these schools in the metro area, uh, it seems like they don't play basketball at all until
Yeah.
until
Until
the season
later.
starts, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the 3A North, these girls are playing basketball year round
All
since
the
they're little
time. Yeah.
kids. And it reminds me of one of my friends from college. He was, because his family's from England, and he was saying how in England everybody plays soccer, even the grandparents play soccer,
Uh huh.
right? That's how the Napa Nation is with basketball.
Yeah.
Everybody plays basketball. Even the grandparents, have experience, or can play some basketball. Going back to their youth, right?
Yep.
So basketball is certainly ingrained in culture for all native peoples here, especially in Arizona. And from what I can tell on the internet, all these tribes elsewhere in the nation as well. But anyways, so yeah, there's just a big, I'm just trying to understand this big difference between the boys and the girls. Anyways, so Snowflake ended up beating. I don't remember who they played. Do you remember who they played?
They played ALA
Oh, ALA West Foothills,
Westwood
right?
Eagles. Yeah.
They did beat them. So
Beat
Snowflake's in
them
the semifinals.
2 points or so. Yeah.
They're in the semis, and they're playing. I don't even know. We can look in just a moment about who they're playing.
Coolidge.
Is it Coolidge?
Coolidge.
Okay. Yeah, Coolidge. And I mean, I don't know if you've seen this. I mean, I saw it when I was standing in line. There was a lady showing one of the other people in line this video. I guess there was some kind of incident that happened in the Coolidge Chinley game.
Yeah.
Very terrible to see
Yeah.
that. I don't know the full context besides what I saw in the video,
Mhm.
right? But from what I seen, it was very awful that fans, especially adults, behaving like that at a high school
Yeah.
sports game, right?
I I know it's like state and all that. It's like, you know, emotions are high and all that. But you know, if you're the hosting team, man, you know you should have at least control of your fans or even your parents or whoever it may be. You know, I know that last year when Holbrook played in Coolidge in the first round too. Holbrook played down there, and some of the parents got there early, and I know it was kind of mentioned this year too when Chinle played them. Some fans got there early, and we were told that we got a good seat in the front row of the game. And then as we sat down, like more Holbrook fans started sitting there, and we were told by the by security or I don't know whoever it was, some of the administration there told us that we couldn't sit there. They said, "Oh, we got a designated area for you for the visitors." We talked to your AD already, and we already proved that, or we already said that too. So, and then they told us that, and it's like we didn't know about it. You know, we already got here first. Like this is where we want to sit. And they tried moving us, but we didn't move. We just stayed there, and they said, all right, well, if anything happens, this is on you guys, kind of thing. And luckily, we knew some people sitting next to us from Coolidge, and then we're talking with them before they even came up. So, and then they told them like they'll be all right. We'll be they're sitting by us. We'll be okay. So, you know, just like a little like that happening. I'm not surprised like this stuff happens. And I heard they did the same thing to Chinle fans too. When the Chinle fans showed up early, they tried to designate them to a certain location and even like segregate them. They had like a whole separate entrance for the visitors and the home, is what I seen online.
In what world is that okay? You know, for someone to say whatever happens, it's on you at a public
Yeah,
school event, right? There should be. This isn't the Cardinals versus the 49ers. I say that because that was a pretty rough game from what I seen in the stands. Okay, uh, going to these professional football games. You know, you see people at their worst, right? Um, but for these high school games, you expect adults and fans to be good examples not only for their children but for
yeah,
their community.
yep.
And no one should be told that, let alone have some kind of fearfulness of going to a game somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
I know, I didn't, I like Al to say, I know that um, prior to me going there for the first time, people always said, kind of things about it, and
Mm-hmm.
I never really took too much note of it. It was more of a, I'll believe it when I see it, and when I went down there, they were very nice.
Yeah.
The whole community's nice. It's a
Yeah, they're
great
friendly people, man. Yeah.
great basketball environment. The announcer, prior to the game at Altusay, he told his fans to give a welcome to all the Holbrook fans,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's you do want to have that sense of rivalry and whatnot, but you also
Yeah.
want to make sure that you're being restrained and not making an idiot of yourself,
Yeah.
you know. And hopefully these parents that did that, hopefully someday maybe they'll look at it and they'll see themselves and realize how dumb they were for doing that,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they'll have some kind of remorse and possibly figure out a way to make it better in their own life, right?
Yeah.
But I do agree, the AIA does need to do something. Maybe we need to go back to neutral site games for these high stake ones.
I think so.
Um, it was, what, 10 years ago they used to have. I remember it was like, I don't know, um, Chinley versus Ganado or something, and they had the game in Windrock,
Yeah.
at a neutral site, something like that. So it's something to take in consideration too, and the AIA needs to look at this not as a financial issue and trying to see how they can maximize revenue,
Mm-hmm.
but they should be trying to focus on bringing the whole state of Arizona together
Yeah.
for these games instead of putting everybody in these environments for putting everybody in these environments where it's just people get stuck in these stupid situations. And where is the athletic director for Coolidge? I go to Holbrook game, I go to all these games in the north, and the athletic director or the principal is always there.
Mm-hmm.
And when fans start to act out, whether it's the home team or the away team, right? The athletic director or whoever's hosting, they go out there and they talk to their fans
Yeah,
and say, "Hey, you need to quiet down, or you need to calm down, or you're gonna have to leave."
yeah.
So that's the expectation I see because clearly in Holbrook, they take unruly fans seriously,
Hmm.
and I see that everywhere else that I go up here in the north end.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily like in Sholo or maybe Blue Ridge, but definitely in the north.
Yeah, there was. We're watching the game online on one of the platforms, and I'm my daughter, and we're watching the Chile game. Chile was ahead almost the whole game. The last maybe like 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. Coolidge came back and they won the game. They won by 10, and like the video we're watching, we seen the crowd kind of like give attention at the end to a certain part of the gym, and it looked like a fight broke out. Whatever. I think some people were arguing or something after the game, and then I seen videos where when the boys when they're shaking hands, the Chile boys and the Coolidge fans or Coolidge players are shaking hands, and the whole student section came down. The student section, the Coolidge boys came down, and they started saying stuff to the Chilean boys. It's fun and game. It's all fun when it's like, the competitiveness. You don't have to go as far as like. I heard that they were spitting on some of the Chilean players too. Is what I heard.
Yeah, that's what I saw in the video. They were
Yeah, I didn't see. I couldn't see that exactly, but maybe it was in the video. But I didn't see that. But
well in the video. It said it paused or it showed them like where the spitting incident, and it had like a little words that came and said
oh,
Coolidge players were spitting on them. So
dang.
I mean, it was from a distance, so obviously you couldn't
Uh-huh.
see them literally spit on them, but you saw
Yeah,
something that looked like spitting.
and then from another video we're watching that there was a family. One of the parents there for Chile, she said that her daughter got threatened by another Coolidge fan or something like that, and a little girl like I don't know how old she is, but she got threatened. I heard, and they had police involved and all that. So yeah, it was that kind of game.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and like I said, the AIA needs to do something about it. I mean, it's awful that it happened to these Shinley fans. You know, I've been around. They came. I think Chinley came to Holbrook. I've been over to Chinley too, and they're a very welcoming community.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that I'm Navajo and everyone else is Navajo there too. But regardless, it's just ridiculous, and something
Hmm.
needs to be done. I'm not who knows. I know that Myron. I saw I think a Facebook post or a tweet or something from Myron Sosi, sort of kind of reiterating the same thing of
Yeah.
the AIA needs to look into this,
Hmm.
um, because it's the secret is the obvious secret is that the AIA really enjoys the money that these North schools bring in for the tournaments. I mean, if they didn't have the North teams in the playoffs, it would be extremely difficult for the AIA to try to you know fund the Coliseum and pay everybody to go there
Hmm.
and everything, you know, um, and to just do that and then have fans do that to these traveling teams. It's awful, and who knows? I mean, maybe that's just how it's been. Maybe that's just what's been going on at Coolidge. I mean, I haven't been to any of their games or seen it, so maybe that's
Yeah.
just sort of like their environment in their region.
I've heard similar incidents against their game against Winslow also when Winslow traveled down there the week before, a couple days before.
Uh huh.
That's from what I heard from some of the Winslow people's what I heard.
Uh huh. Yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say on this is, I know people were sort of, at least I'd seen one tweet or X post about trying to do something that the AIA will take notice on. I mean, I think people were sort of mentioning boycotting, and that I that would work. I just don't know if these communities are willing to do that
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Windrock, Page, Altusay, and Tuba City decided that they weren't going to play
Mm-hmm.
because of unless the AIA makes a commitment to sort of address these issues.
That would hurt him big time.
That would hurt him big time. It would take a lot of guts, for these players. I know there's seniors that I know for sure they want to, play and finish out their season as champions, right?
Yeah.
But there's, I hate to say it, but there is a cultural, societal impact to this too,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes making change is doing difficult things, and if people are serious about making the AI consider these changes, that might be something that they need to think about. I'm pretty sure no one is, but that would just be one radical solution, and it would definitely get the ears down in Phoenix to listen more about it.
Yeah, a neutral site would easy fix a lot of it, I think.
A neutral side, or even just making the putting it back at Tim's Toyota Center or something. Again,
Yeah.
Plus, and we'll get to it when we talk about the copper games, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. So that's all I have to say about that. In the words of Forrest Gump. Anyways, yeah, the next one here, Snowflake versus Valley Christian in the copper semifinals in Happy Winslow. I wish I could tell you everything because I went to the game, and I wish I could give you a good recap on the game. However, I was stuck outside in line, and I waited for like 5 hours
That's crazy.
because when we got there, we found I thought you could watch the Snowflake game, or not the Snow, yeah, watch the Snowflake game, and then sit in there and then wait for the next game to start, which
Wait
was
for the
I think
game.
yeah,
6 o'clock.
yeah, it was 6 o'clock. So I think there was maybe like an hour break between the two, possibly something like that. So I thought, oh yeah, you can just do that, and then you can. So we thought we were showing up early, right? But we get there and we realize that there are two lines. There's a line to watch the Tuba City uh, Pima game, and then there's the Snowflake, which nobody was there. There was like nobody waiting in line for the Snowflake game, except for Snowflake fans and Valley Christian fans, which and I think some people showed up early too, thinking that was going to be the case as well. But what ended up happening was we found out that after the Snowflake game, you have to come back out, and then you have to get back in line. So in this case, when we got there,
Two admissions.
yeah. So when we got there, the line was already growing, and the lady in front of us told us that the people at the very, very front, the first in line, they got there at 8 o'clock in the morning and had been sitting there all day. So that's dedication. I respect that. That's pretty cool.
How much were tickets?
They were standard, $12.
Okay.
$12. I wasted $12 because I didn't even use my Snowflake ticket. So
you had purchased both of them?
yeah, I
Wow.
purchased both of them.
Dang.
So I ended up staying in line the whole day. My fiance and her parents, I saved the spot, and they went inside and watched the game for a little bit.
The
right.
Snowflake game.
The Snowflake game, yeah. And when I got there, I counted people in front of us, and I want to say it was like 50 to 55 people in front of me, right? And we were waiting there all day, and it started to get colder sometime around like 3 o'clock ish, maybe 2:30. The wind started blowing; it got kind of cold. So, I walked to our truck to get another beanie or whatever. And when I went out to the truck, there was like an army of cars parked out there with all these Tuba City vans. And I was thinking, if they're not in line right now, that means somebody is standing in line for them. And when the time comes, this line is gonna grow between me and the door. And that ended up happening. I was kind of worried too. I was worried because my fiance's mom went into the Snowflake game, and she talked to the people that were taking tickets, and they had said that in Tuba City, when they had a playoff game in that format where it was you had to buy one, then go out, and then buy another one to get back in to the next game, the Tuba City fans just rushed the door for the second game instead of staying in line. They just rushed the door. So over at the Winslow venue, the line was like in a horseshoe, like this
around the gym,
around the entrance. So the entrance, and it kind of went around the basketball goals right there in a horseshoe.
Oh, in the front.
In the front, yeah. And at the end of that horseshoe was really close to the entrance, and I was just thinking, all day that,
They're gonna
man,
rush
these
over.
people at the end are gonna just rush straight over there
Oh, did
and
that
take
end up
everybody's spot.
happening? No.
No, that ended up it
Okay.
didn't happen. But I talked to another guy and he was like telling me he thought the same thing was gonna happen
Oh
as
yeah.
well. But anyways, as time got closer, yeah, it happened. I mean, all these people just came out of nowhere, and next
Mm.
thing you know, there was like it seemed like 150 people in front of me. It just
Wow.
grew by like 100 people. Uh, and I mean, I can't be um, I guess that critical because I ended up saving seats for my parents, so they kind of benefited from me staying in
Uh,
there. But my parents were sort of reluctant to come up there at first, and I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? I stood up here all day just so you guys can get in this line up here. So they eventually came over, and anyways, but the fans, the Tuba City fans were really nice. I was able to talk to some of them in line,
Uh,
and just great people that came out to the game.
yeah.
Everyone was excited. Great basketball atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was, you know, I had never done that before, so it was cool to wait in line like that for the first time.
Hmm.
But anyways, yeah, the game started. So I guess we'll skip the Snowflake game. Snowflake won, obviously. I think they beat them by 10. If you want to know more about it, watch the stream. Everyone was there for Tuba City, anyways. So, anyways, the game, was interesting in that the Pima girls had like 5 girls that were like at least 6 foot.
Really.
They had one girl that was like taller than me, like maybe 6'2".
Uh huh.
She didn't play. When I saw her in warm-ups, I thought she was going to be a starter because she was so
Yeah.
tall, but she didn't play at all. So I'm assuming. Well, I mean, I watched her warm up. She really couldn't dribble that well, so I kind of figured though she was tall, she
Yeah.
wasn't very much of a contributor.
Just inside game.
But I thought Pima had a chance with their height.
Uh-huh.
But that comes back to the question that I was telling you about. That just for girls basketball, for some reason, these teams outside of the North, they don't play basketball, and they're late in developing their skills. And by the time they get to high school, it's sort of too late,
Yeah.
unless you get a special group of girls like the Snowflake girls. But anyhow, their game plan was pretty neat. Obviously, they were double teaming Layla Sosi
Yeah.
or Layla Curtis. I don't know who's Layla Sosi. I think she was a student of mine. Layla Curtis. And now about that, this is why I think one of the reasons why I think Layla Curtis is such a great player. They double teamed her and they sort of slowed her down at first, but champions always find a way to score and they always find a way to win. So despite the fact that they tried to double team her, she was still able to do some things and she found ways to score. And I think she ended up scoring like, I don't know, 20 points or something in that game. But it was just amazing to see her work. You can see like in her, she was thinking about this game and she was trying to figure out how to score.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually she got herself into a place where she was basically figuring it out. And she was, in some ways, sort of able to do whatever she wanted.
I think she had a 30-point game or something like that.
Yeah, it was, did I say 20? I wasn't keeping track, but she did very well. And it slowly picked up steam. And it was like they couldn't really do anything for her. I mean, she would step back. I think she shot like an NBA three-pointer and made like 2 of them at an NBA distance. Driving the ball. That's what I like to see with these players, these top-notch players in high school basketball. Is I like to see them take control of the game.
Yeah.
And really show everybody why you're one of the top players in the state.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole Tuba City team in general, they play extremely well together.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty amazing to see them do that. The whole team, it seems like they're all of one mind and they know what each other's thinking.
Yeah.
One difference between Tuba and Holbrook is when I watched Tuba City play, I had no anxiety or fear of them turning the ball over. It just seemed like they were confident in their dribbling, confident in their passing, and they came out ready to work.
Comfortable.
I mean, it helps when the whole entire gym is Tuba City fans, and there
Yeah.
was literally a small little patch of Pima fans.
It's all green in there. Huh?
One of the unfortunate things with this game, though, is one of the seniors. I don't know her name. I wish I knew it off the top of my head, but she did get injured. I think early in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of their contributors too, and she did play well against Pima. I don't know what the extent of her injury was, but I think it was maybe a tailbone injury because of the way she fell.
No.
I know that when she fell, she sort of kept her hips elevated when she was on the ground,
Uh-huh.
um, which told me that perhaps it was like her tailbone that was injured.
Yeah.
She didn't want to put any pressure on that area. I know they tried taking her back to the bench, and she was unable to sit on the bench, and they eventually took her off to the locker room, and then I'm assuming they called EMS,
Wow.
and she went to the hospital.
Hmm.
So
She never returned back to the game, huh?
yeah.
Hmm.
So hopefully, if that's what the injury is, I mean, hopefully it's a minimal one, maybe a bruised tailbone. Whatever it is, I mean, hopefully it's not serious enough to not allow her to play this coming Saturday. But
Yeah.
the good news is they get a week off.
Yeah.
But was it worth the hype? I was, in some ways, I was hoping it was a closer game. But at the same time, too, it was nice to see them
Dominate
and win
22
decisively.
point game, right?
Yeah. Do you have any comments about the game, Mac?
No, I think Pete Butler's doing a good job. He's the coach of the Tuba girls, and I know he was the coach for the boys last year, and they did some changes, and he's doing a good job, man. He's really knowing how to set the girls, and with Layla on the court, it's probably not completely easy. You try to strategize and use your team the best of their abilities, and he's doing that, man. That's why he's coach of the year for number 2 right now. So, yep, shout out to Pete Butler.
Yeah, so let's talk about this coming weekend. On Saturday, the Copper Championship game, number 2 Tuba City versus number 1 Snowflake. It's at 6 p.m. on Saturday at Arizona Veterans Memorial Stadium. I'm really considering going down there to watch this. I think this is gonna, fortunately, I think this is probably gonna be the best game in all of basketball. 1A all the way to 6A.
For championship game, you talking about,
championship.
or for all games?
For all championship games.
Oh yeah,
I think this is probably the best game that's going to happen. I think by far it's going to be the best game. I'm hoping it'll definitely be a classic, and I hope both teams show up ready to play and they leave everything out on the court.
yep.
And due to popular demand, I've been asked to do a spread on this for the championship game and who we think is going to win this one. So let me bring that up really quick.
Are we answering any questions tonight, or trying to? Is there anyone in the chat tonight? I don't know
Let's
if
see
people
here.
want to ask questions, or whatever, but we'll try to.
If you have any questions, please go ahead and put it in the chat. We don't have any right now. But anyways, so like I said, due to popular demand, people wanted me to do like a spread analysis on this one. So looking over here for the Snowflake game, this was at a neutral site, and I kind of put this together. The model still thinks it's like January because once the rankings came out, we didn't necessarily abandon it, but we kind of just stopped paying attention to it at that point. But given its neutral site, the model thinks Tuba City, or the model thinks Snowflake is a 6.5 point favorite over Tuba City. And when we saw this, Mac, I know that you sort of didn't think that was the case. What are your thoughts on that?
You gotta include the 6 man for Tuba City in this, and I give Tuba the favorite by 2 points.
And with that senior, the girl that I mentioned being injured, if she's out of the game, I kind of think this might be somewhere within the realm of possibility. Snowflake being a 6 point favorite. I expect the Snowflake girls to double team Layla Curtis the whole entire time. I wish I would have watched the Snowflake Tuba game earlier in the year. I know that Tuba barely lost by 1
point game,
right? So we'll have to see. I don't know why the total is 99 points. The over under is 99 points. The projected score: Snowflake 52, Tuba City 46. I expect it to be higher if they make a lot of 3-pointers. Because look at this, Snowflake is not a good shooting team. They don't shoot very well,
Mm-hmm.
and because I said that, they're probably going to shoot very well. um, but and they lack a lot of technical skill. Their only advantage is this: they got the height, athleticism, but they don't have the technical skill, dribbling, passing. And given that it's the finals, I don't expect a whole lot of fouls to be called.
Yeah,
So
it's going to be a physical game.
So I think if the fouls aren't being called, I think Snowflake is definitely going to have an advantage over Tuba City. But if that happens, I mean, Tuba City, don't let that get to your head. You just got to play harder and take it to them, I guess.
Yep.
The next one here, we'll go to this one here. Do you have any other things to say about Snowflake and Tuba?
No, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be packed full of Tuba fans, and it's gonna be an exciting game.
The next one here, we'll talk with the first one here up top. Windrock or Altusay at Windrock at the Veterans Memorial Center on Friday at 6 p.m. And I'm also thinking about going to this game as well. I gotta support. Well, I like both teams, Altusay and Windrock. If I can get an Altusay versus everyone shirt before then I'll go for Altusay. But right now I'm going for Windrock. According to our model here, given that it's at a neutral site, Windrock is a 3-point favorite with a total of 91.5. Projected score: Windrock 47, Altusay 44. What do you think, Mac?
I agree with the model, man. This will be a close one, but I think Windrock will do a little better job on defense and be more aggressive offensively, I think.
Okay. And the last game on Thursday, or Friday, I mean, at 8 p.m., a late game here, Yuma Catholic versus Page. The model says Page is a 5.5-point favorite against Yuma Catholic. Who did Yuma Catholic beat previously? They beat Sholo 46-29. I think at the beginning of the year, Page sort of had a slow start against Sholo, but they ended up beating them at the very end, right? They didn't have the player that transferred earlier in the year.
Yeah.
But now they do. I think this is most likely going to be a Windrock Page finals. Out of these 4 games, Mac, which one do you think is most likely an upset? Which one do you think has the best possibility of an upset?
I don't know much about Yuma Catholic, but I see why Sholo lost. That's a long drive for them to go to Yuma Catholic. So, man, it's a tough one, man. I'll just say their fans could really show up for something too, man. Yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah, so I would say I think the Windrock, I'll say that has an upset alert.
Yeah, more likely.
Yeah, I think if Altsay comes out and play and the fans get rowdy too, this could be a close one, and Altsay certainly has a chance at beating Windrock. Did they played earlier in the year, right?
Yeah,
but I think Windrock beat him.
I think they
pretty
did,
decisively, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but at this point, it doesn't matter because this is a winner go home game.
Yep.
I expect Page to beat Yuma Catholic. I'll be surprised.
The model says that too, right?
The model says that too. As a 5.5-point favorite. Projected score for the game: Page 50, Yuma Catholic 44. The total 93.5 points. I think it's gonna be over 93 points. Over 93.5 points. So, anyways, I hope everyone takes a look at that and takes that into consideration. Just a fun thing to think about. What the model says. I think the biggest shock to this model is the fact that Snowflake is a 6.5-point favorite over Tuba, despite the fact that it was a very close game earlier in the year. And both teams are. I want to say Tuba has more of a momentum right now than Snowflake does, but we'll have to see on Saturday.
Yeah.
The last one here, state championship. Let's make some assumptions here. I mean, if it's Windrock Page, Who do you think's going to take this game?
I think I think Win the Rock has the edge on this one too. I think they got a deeper bench, more contributors on the Win the Rock side. I think so. I'm favoring Win the Rock in this one.
Okay. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game, and I hope it is too. I really like to see exciting games. In these big moments, it's cool to see these players step up and meet the challenge. Um,
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I just think Windrock is just they're number one for a reason.
Yeah.
This 3A, they're just a well coached team. They have what it takes to win this out. I think Windrock, if they get Patch House to say, I think Windrock is the most likely winner for the state championship.
I agree, man.
You heard it here first.
So that happens at 1:30. What time is the Copper Championship game?
The Copper game is not until 6 o'clock, I think it was.
Because that could help too, man.
Yeah, 6 p.m. is the
Okay.
Copper finals.
So what games before this Tuba game then? Must be like a smaller school game then or something.
Before that, well, for girls, I mean, the state championship's at 9 o'clock in the morning.
San Carlos,
Dang, that's early.
St. John's. That's gonna be St. Carlos and St. John's, man.
St. John's. I think so. My coworker's daughter plays on the St. John's team, and I think he's excited. I'll have to talk to him about it tomorrow. See what he says. Anyways,
Go to the 1A real quick.
1A
We got
championship
Fort
game is
Thomas
on.
and
I think it's
City.
Friday.
That's a big game, man.
Fort Thomas, Joseph City. I want to make it to this game too. That's why I'm like, I want to wear my jacket over there.
This is on Friday, you said?
Yeah, it's the day before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at 1 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Center. My parents went to I think it was the first round of the 1A playoffs for girls. I think it was like Joseph City versus San Pasqual, and Joe City beat them like 50-10 or something like that. No, actually, it's right here. I'm all saying that in the scores right here. Joe City beat them 58-15. Okay, so I was not lying. Anyhow, yeah, it's the 1A is just very. It seems like in the 1A you have one or two really good teams, and then everyone else is okay or not very good. I hate to say it like that, but that's just sort of my observation of that division. Do you want to say anything about the boys? I mean, I guess we can kind of look at the boys for a second here. Boys brackets. I guess we can look at the 1A here. We have Fort Thomas against Fort Thomas and St. David. That's pretty nice. Fort Thomas beat the Gregory School 71-58.
Yeah.
Remember last year when Gregory School won the 1A? One of their players was saying that they wanted to try to win the Copper. And I did say back then that was a bold thing to say, and they didn't even make it to the Copper tournament.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Yeah,
Fort Thomas and
Fort
St.
Thomas
Davis.
is a good team this year, man. They have Damari and Channing, some good players, man. I see them winning this one fairly by a lot. I think. They're the only team in the Copper division in the Copper tournament.
Oh, that made it, right?
Yeah.
And who'd they lose to? Let me see. They lost to Seton Catholic 60-49. It seems like even though it's 60-49, it seemed like the game was in reach for them to beat them at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, 1A, the 1A state championship, Fort Thomas versus St. David. Have you ever been to St. David?
Never
I've been
have.
there once.
I can't say it.
Joe City, my brother was on the second state championship team for football. They played St. David, I think, in the semifinals
was
down
that?
there. St. David is south of Bisbee.
It's
It's like just
way.
yeah, just like it's kind of like a Holbrook Winslow type of
Hmm.
distance. They're really close communities. I might get Bisbee wrong. I think it's Bisbee. They're south of Bisbee. But anyways, they're like a Holbrook Winslow type of distance between each other.
Okay.
Anyways, 2A. What's going on in the 2A for the boys basketball? Yeah, Pima and Fountain Hills, North Valley Christian, and Scottsdale Christian. Unfortunately, San Carlos did lose to North Valley Christian. I wish I knew a lot more about this, but I don't really know any much about these teams. Do you, Mac?
Not too much. I know Pima was in the copper bracket too, and I think someone else too. I forgot. Scottsdale Christian, maybe.
Uh huh. Okay. And I guess lastly, we'll look at the 3A really quick. 3A, the only team that I know is Snowflake and Snowflake. They're playing Coolidge at 11 o'clock on Friday. And then Seton Catholic plays Palo Verde Magnet at 9 in the morning. Probably nice for them because this is an in-town game, whereas Snowflake, they got to drive down there.
Yeah.
Do you think Snowflake can sneak their way into the state championship?
I don't think so. I think Coolidge just won that game.
I feel like these are two teams that benefit from non-fouls being called, but I think Coolidge benefits more than Snowflake does.
Coolidge has a height too.
Uh-huh.
They got that tall guy on that team. A couple of bigs.
Okay, and the last one here, Santan Charter Valley Christian.
This is to be a good game.
I believe Santan Charter is like the clear favorite.
Yeah.
Valley Christian. You actually saw Santan Charter, right?
Yeah.
How was that team? They had some big guys, tall guys.
Yeah, they're like not really tall, not one in particular, but they were decent height.
They could jump.
Yeah, they have a really good point guard. What's his name? Peyton. He's pretty good. He was nominated like the player of the year for their division for 1A or for 2A. And if there's a team that's going to beat him, it would have to be Valley Christian, man. So I think it's a big good game, but yeah, Santan's the favorite though.
Yeah,
I know.
So 4A, I know we always forget about 4A. I didn't get a chance to see Flagstaff play this year, but I hear they're doing pretty well. I know they made the open tournament, but they did lose, I think, in the first round.
I think that was Coconino. I don't think it was Flagstaff.
Is Coco even in the tournament?
I thought they were. I thought they play Wednesday night, I think.
Like in the play-in?
That's the girls. You talking about girls?
Yeah, I'm talking about girls.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. I'm talking about boys.
Okay.
Yeah, Flagstaff girls are good.
So, yeah, Flag High against Walden Grove at Flag High on the 26th. Oh, that's Thursday, I think? Right?
Yeah.
That might be something to go check out. Maybe. We'll have to see. But yeah, like I said, still Flagstaff, a great team. I know that they're doing well this year. I wish I would have gone and seen them. I know there was some teams that I wanted to watch I wanted to see them play a few teams. It just seemed like it always conflicted with the horror game or something. So
yeah,
but definitely rooting for Flag High to they're defending champions this year, right?
Yep.
So all the luck to them, and I'll be rooting for Flag High in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
You said you want to look at the boys really quick.
Happy birthday to Dea too. Today's her birthday. She plays for Flag.
Oh, okay. Yeah, happy birthday. Sports on I40 shout out. Coconino, you said?
Yeah, Coconino boys.
Are they still in the open?
They're in the 4A right there. They're right there.
Oh, here. Coconino Dysart. Oh, on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Yeah, Wednesday. That'd be interesting. I've never been to Coconino's school, let alone their gym. Have you?
I've been to the gym, but I never watched them play in the high school game.
Is this like their first, real playoff run in a long time?
No, they were in it last year too.
They were in it last year?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, the boys division in general is a really tough
Yeah.
division, and I don't think people give that division, any boys division, 3A boys, 4A boys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people give it enough love because it's really tough, and it's a testament to as to why there hasn't been a whole lot of North teams winning state championships in the 3A boys division because it's just really hard.
Yeah. They got a couple boys that we know that play for the Coconino. They're pretty good. There's a kid named Hashki Nelson and Orion, Travis's cousin. They're pretty good players.
What's Orion's name?
Orion, I forgot his last name. Tall kid though,
How tall is he?
6'3" maybe.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right.
6'2", somewhere around there.
Wow. Okay. Let's finish with one last thing, Mac. Um, this will be the last thing we talk about this evening. So, 3A small school player of the year for girls basketball. I think it's for girls basketball. I think it's going to come down to who wins the state championship. If Tuba City wins the state championship, then I think Layla Curtis will be the small school player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
If Snowflake wins the state championship, I think Raya Denhalter will be the small school player of the year. Even though Layla Curtis has had a phenomenal year and just outshined Raya Denhalter by a lot, not a little, by a lot, right? I mean, there's Layla Curtis has fans. I mean, she has social media stuff. I've seen video. My brother sent me a video. I guess she was featured on the Ball is Life
Yeah.
YouTube channel or whatever.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, they made a few posts about her throughout the season.
So I mean, by that fact alone, and as well as her stats, you know, making well over 500 points this year as a freshman, you know, averaging 30 points a game. I mean, win or lose, I think Layla Curtis should be the small school player of the year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, I feel like it's going to come down to the state championship.
Mm.
So, you know, clearly Raya Denhalter I think she was the best girls basketball player in the East. But for the North, Layla Curtis was definitely, and I feel like it's really hard to argue against the fact that Layla Curtis is the best player in girls basketball for the 3A in general. Phenomenal player. Excited to see, you know, her, you know, move through her, you know, sophomore and junior and senior year. But unfortunately, I just kind of feel like that's how it's going to go. So Layla Curtis, if you want to be small school player of the year, you're going to have to win that game on Saturday.
I think, yeah, this year has been the year of the freshmen, man.
Oh yeah, Winter Rock.
A lot of good freshmen this year. A lot from Wonder Rock, from Mona Valley, Tuba City. Yeah, it's been a good shine for them, man.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I think clearly it's going to be Layla Curtis.
I think so. I think it should be her. You know, there's no debate. But like I said, there's just I don't know. I just got that feeling like if it's going to come down to that. So, and I don't understand why I'm thinking it's going to. Like I said, Layla Curtis overall as a player outshined Raya Denhalter by a lot. You know,
She's what grade is she?
she's a senior,
Senior.
right? I think if you ask people outside the region, I don't even think they know who Raya Denhalter is.
Yeah.
The only reason why I know who she is is because she was in the East. I'm trying not to be disrespectful. Please don't take it like that. I just, for some reason, I just got that feeling that it's going to come down to who wins the state championship and who's going to be small school player of the year.
Yeah.
So the only choice is just to win, you know, to just solidify, you know, that you are the best player in the 3A.
That's from 1A to 3A you're talking about?
Yeah. 1A through 3A, small school player of the year.
Yeah.
And I mean, who was it? I know in New Mexico, was it when Sydney Benali was a senior, she was the Gatorade New Mexico State Player of the Year or whatever, right? But anyways, yeah, I think it's a clear case for her for Layla Curtis, but I think it's going to come down to who wins this game for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know what you think. Am I being hyperbolic when I say that it's going to come down to who wins to see who's going to be crowned the small school player of the year for basketball girls? Yeah, please let us know. Mac, do you have anything else you want to add to this?
No, I don't think so. I think it's it. Just good luck to all the teams, and it was a good run for all the seniors, and now it's the off season, and I strongly encourage like any players coming back next year, get in the weight room and start working out, because end of the year stuff, all the playoffs, it's a physical game, man. The ones that are most physical are most confident. So like get in the gym, get your work in, man.
Yeah, and one of the biggest holes in everybody's game I noticed this year is rebounding. Everybody seems to have problems with rebounding. Hulbert had problems with it. Um, Everybody, Pima, rebounding is a fundamental skill, and a lot of good things come to teams that rebound really well.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that more in the coming weeks about
Yeah.
some of the things that should be worked on. And I want to have my dad, the unofficial armchair coach, to come on because he watches this too, and he has a lot of good insight
Yeah.
as far as individual skill that he thinks a lot of these players should work on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very vocal about it to me at least. So I want to get him on and see what his tell everybody what his thoughts are
Yeah.
on what these players he thinks should work on. So
Yep.
but anyways, yeah, if you're going down to the games on Friday, Saturday, please be safe out there. I don't expect any bad weather. I think I checked the weather earlier this week. It's not going to be. I don't think there's any rain or snow or anything. But I'm not a weatherman, so. But yeah, when you get down there, please be safe. We want to see everybody get home. We want to see everybody next year as well, and we want to celebrate the next season with you.
Yep.
But for now, this is the Sports on I40 podcast, and thank you for staying up late to watch this. And if you're going to watch this in the morning, good morning as well.